What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. This is Force, and here today I will be showing you some Skyforge Berserker gameplay. Just yesterday I put up some video coverage, basically giving my first impressions of the game, but I thought it'd be a good idea to show you guys some just unedited raw gameplay, so you can see and get a good idea for how the game plays, the look and feel, all of that stuff. So that's what we're going to do here. Now, I'd like to start off just by sort of giving you, I guess, a little bit of an introduction to what the Berserker class is. I did cover this briefly in my video yesterday, but I'm not going to assume that everyone saw my first impressions video, although if you haven't, you should just check that out. That's shameless self-plug, I know. So the Berserker class works in a series of combo attacks in addition to special abilities. So the way the combo system works is my left attack will always do a strike that deals a set amount of damage and restores a little bit of rage. Now, depending on when I choose to use a right attack, it will change from a short duration stun to an AoE attack that replenishes some rage to a single target massive damage dealer in the fracture ability. So basically, if I go left twice and then right, I'm going to do a little AoE attack. So I'm going to do that right now. 1, 2, and then right. And that does an AoE attack that restores some of my rage. I'll do that again. We'll go 1, 2, right. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and show you the stun, which is 1 left and then a right attack. That's going to be a stun. Had he not died, he basically would have been stunned for a short duration. And then let me just do a whirlwind here. And hopefully I get one guy. No, okay, no one lived. I was hoping to get one guy alive to show you the single target ability. But I can just get that on someone else. Like I could get that on this guy right here. So I'm going to aggro him with my little earthquake. Oh gosh, he took way too much damage. I need to find someone that has some health. Alright, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then, oh, all these things keep dying too quickly. I need to find someone who's a little bit stronger than these fools. That's what I need to find. Well, I can do it once we get up to someone. These are all basically throwaway enemies. So in addition to my combo system, I also have a whirlwind. And my right attack, if not used in a chain, applies a debuff. So I can basically call in this ability. It's going to debuff those enemies, making them take more damage from my attacks. And then I can spin in with my whirlwind. And as you can see, that is some pretty massive damage. That's gonna blow them up. In fact, every 50 seconds, my whirlwind is enhanced to this firestorm ability that does even more damage than a regular whirlwind. So this is a regular whirlwind here, which is still gonna be enough to take out these little trash enemies, but it's not enough to take out sort of the more difficult bosses, which we'll come across. Don't you worry. I promise you, it's not all this super face roll. It's not all the super face roll all the time. Although a lot of times they're called trash for a reason. A lot of times the trash are pretty face roll. It's not until you come across the bosses that you actually have to worry too much, but some of the trash mobs will have a little bit more health and they'll take a little bit more to sort of work through. Alright, so here's the boss. So this will be a good opportunity to show you my single target chain attack that, what's it called exactly? The fracture ability, which is after 3 left attacks, doing a right attack applies fracture. I showed you the whirlwind. I also have a leap, which you've been seeing me use periodically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leap in, I'm going to debuff him, and then I'm going to use my 3, which is just a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and here's my right attack on number 4 in the chain. And that's, again, a heavy single target. Heavy damage to a single target. And he's going to summon himself a little ally. And you can see, again, this guy is taking a bit more work than the average guy. So I can't always just use all of those combo attacks. Some of them require some of my rage, and if my rage bar isn't filled, I'm going to have to fill it before I can use it. Now I fill it just by using my left attacks, and then also the second in my chain, this little spin here, that also restores some rage, although that's best used when you're surrounded by a lot of people, because you get more rage if you hit multiple targets. I think it's like up to 3 targets, and it will restore a total of 15 rage. So what I'll do a lot of times is I'll start off I can do a stun right now on this guy. There we go. I'll start off with the debuff, which is just holding down my right button. And then once they're debuffed, you can see under their health bar there's that 20-second countdown timer going down 19, 18. And what that is that means they're taking, whoever is affected by that will be taking more damage from my attacks until that debuff drops. So the general concept is that I just, I apply that and then I spam as much damage as I can, be it single target or multi-target, depending on the situation. So I'm going to apply this right now, and then I'm going to go with the stun for him, and that's the easiest way to take care of these little dudes here. This is a moderately difficult mission. This is actually the second time that I've done this map. What I've come to find, the more time I've put into it, I want to say I've sunk about, at this point, I want to say I've sunk about 8 hours into the game, probably 6 into this account, and then I also made a European account as well, just to try the other characters without hurting the progress of my main character's account. Tried the Cryomancer for a couple of hours as well. I didn't like it quite as much as the Berserker though. But what I've found is that you'll be repeating the same missions, which are also going to the same areas over and over again. You'll be going to the same areas multiple times, and a lot of times when you revisit an area, you'll be presented with like, I guess I'll call it a new challenge or something, but it's always pretty simple. It's stuff like try not to die 3 times and dodge 20 attacks, or every once in a while I'll get this thing that says collect these orbs, and these orbs will be scattered sort of randomly throughout the map, and you just have to find them. Alright, so this guy in the center here, he should be a little bit more difficult to kill. He won't be too hard though. He's just a red health, single health bar minion, but these guys around him will die very quickly. So I'm going to debuff them. I'm going to go in and do my Firestorm. And oh no, that was actually just a regular Whirlwind attack. And then again, as you can see, this guy's lasting a little bit longer. So if I want to make it as easy as possible, I could just stun him and then just lay a couple of attacks. And I'm not going to use my heavy single target because I want to save my rage. So it's all about, sort of like a lot of other warrior classes, it's all about building up your rage and then dumping it on the very strong attacks. That's the general principle concept. All right, here's the Firestorm. Watch, this thing does so much damage. It is so hilarious. Here's another guy. He's got a little bit more health, but even he can't stand the... I've got a very long duration Firestorm. Now you're going to notice I only have a few abilities. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and Z. The 2 that I haven't shown you yet are the 4 and my Z. So let me show you 4 right now. 4 is a massive AoE damage. It's a charge up, and then I explode for tremendous amounts of damage. There you go. Tremendous amounts of damage. Still doesn't appear quite as effective as my Whirlwind, at least not a full duration Whirlwind. But that does get you a little bit of damage a little bit quicker than a Whirlwind will. We'll take out this guy. Boom. That right there is my E, which is an execute. I do believe all classes have that. The 3 classes that I've tried the most are the Berserker here, the Cryomancer, and the Paladin. And each one of them have an execute so that when an enemy is low, you can use it, and it's going to restore some of your resource depending on what that is, because the different classes use different resource systems. So yeah, it's basically an execute ability for all classes. I guess that's the simplest way to put it. So I just did it again, and it restores some of my resource, which is my rage here in this guy. Alright, gonna blow this guy up. Although you can't use it, I don't know how the cooldown on it works, but you can't use it on every mob, or at least the display doesn't show up for it to use on every mob. I could be wrong though, that could be incorrect, but it does not appear to always be usable when you get a minion to low health. These things, I didn't really explain these in my first impressions video. Whenever you kill enemies, these little orbs will drop down. Sometimes they're cubes. And you just walk up to them and hit space, which space is the interact button in this game. And you'll get things like credits, you'll get gear pieces, which the gear in this game includes... Let me show you real quick here. Oh, there's a guy attacking me. The gear in this game The gear in this game includes, you've got a main weapon slot and like an off weapon slot, and then 4 ring slots. In addition to that, these little triangles are upgrades which will enhance the effectiveness of your weapons, no matter what weapon you're using. Now, it doesn't tie itself to a specific weapon, so once I get an upgrade for this chainsword, if I find another chainsword that's better than this, all of the upgrades that I've applied to it will work as well. And there's upgrades, again, for the rings, for the off, and for the main weapon. And this is the gear setup. This is all there is for gear. I'm not getting helms, I'm not getting chest pieces, boots, or legs. I'm just getting a main weapon, an off weapon, and 4 rings, and that's it, no matter what class you're playing. That's the setup. Something else, too, that I want to show you, again, we only have a few abilities, 1 through 4. My Z is just like a CC breaking ability. That's why I haven't been using it. It's pretty much for PvP, but I apply it, it breaks CC, makes me immune, and gives me a speed boost for a short duration. So that's something that you would assume is obviously going to be very strong in a PvP situation. But in addition, even though we don't have a lot of abilities, there is also this talent system. Now, as you progress your way through the game's progression tree, which is this Ascension Atlas, you can see right now, this is how far I've gotten on my Berserker. And as you make it through, you get things like upgrades to stats, like increased base damage, increase maximum health, increase bonus damage, but you also get talents. So there's this cutter talent. And then every once in a while, you'll also unlock new abilities. Like right up here, I will be unlocking the ability of Teutonic Blast. So I'm going to get myself an additional AoE ability is what this thing is. But you just continue to progress your way through the tree, and the way this tree works is you can notice down here at the bottom, 4 different resources. Depending on the mission that you go on, which you'll see that once we go to the world map, once we complete this mission, depending on the mission you go on, you'll be rewarded with different gems. There are the Sparks of Creation, Balance, and Destruction. And depending on that mission, you're going to get these, and these currency are used to purchase these upgrades. Now, as for the talents, they enhance your base abilities. Now, I've got all these abilities now, and then I also have these 3 talents, one of which increases the duration of my Firestorm, which is my Whirlwind ability. One of them increases my basic attack activation speed and damage that it deals. And then this one that I just recently got increases the critical hit chance of Destructive Wave, which is Destructive Wave is the second stage of this destructive attack. So I can do destructive attack like quickly, like a small one, like this, or I can hold it down and charge it up, which is going to deal more damage, and yeah, it deals more base damage. All right, so I'm just going to walk in. We're going to Whirlwind here. Oh, I waited too long. These guys freaking ran away from me. That was silly. I shouldn't have waited. I should have Whirlwinded right away, which is what I would have done if I'm not sitting here. It's so much different when I'm trying to explain to you guys what I'm doing. It doesn't really make for optimal play, but that's fine. We're gonna go ahead and debuff him again. So this guy's got 2 telegraphs for me to pay attention to. One of them is that, in which he does that little thing, and I can just go behind him while he's doing it. And the second one is a stomp, which that's this right here, and I can back up out of that. So we're gonna go ahead and apply that debuff. And then my single target rotation is basically apply the debuff, use my number 3, and then whenever I have enough rage, I didn't back up in time, whenever I have enough rage, I do my 3rd attack, which is that high single target thing. Okay, I'll get behind him here, and then go like this. And then, I mean, I'm not doing an ideal DPS rotation by any means, mostly because, again, I'm trying to talk with you guys while I'm doing this, so it's not ideal, that's for sure. Could be a lot better. Blow that guy up, kill this. And, all right, so again, let me try to show you like an ideal rotation. So I'm going to apply the debuff, and then we're going to run in, and we're going to use our 3 whenever it's off cooldown. And then we're going to go left, 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 right. Well, he did his AoE thing there, but that's basically the idea. That's what I'll do. Left, 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 right whenever I can afford it, and then do my number 3 whenever it's off cooldown, and then apply the debuff. And that's, yeah. You just need to do it better than I'm showing you here, that's all. Oh, I'm going to get smacked by this. I might go on the other side. 1, 2, 3, boom. And then this is going to do it right here. So there we go. A little mini boss taken care of. But yeah, that's my single target rotation. That's what you'll typically do. And that actually does it for this run here. So I'm going to collect my reward. I went from start to finish of this particular zone. Whenever you go to a new area, that's what you see here is basically how it works. All the zones are relatively small. Some of them are larger than others, of course, but generally speaking, the zones, they aren't huge. Not by any means. Not by any means. In fact, I'm going to show you another one right now. I still have to level up my mastery a bit more until I can do the next main story quest. You can see that in the upper right-hand corner. In order to go to Ardos Monastery, I need 1200 prestige, and I only have 1148 right now. Prestige is leveled up just as you get stronger, as you go further down the progression tree, and as you get new gear. So what you'll do while if you're in one of these points like I am and you need to level up your prestige, what you'll do is you'll try to go on missions that will have the rewards that you need. So if I needed, like, for example, I'm going to need some red shards, so I might go on some red shard missions so that I can get some. But then also while you're there, you'll be getting gear, which gear will increase your prestige level as well. Okay, so I need to go on some of these red ones. There's all sorts of different things available to me, but I'm going to click specifically on Spark of Destructions. Okay, so let's try to find a good one of these. I want to do one that okay, this one's too easy, plus it doesn't even give me a reward. This one's hard and gives me a reward of 44. That's a PvP one, but I don't want to do that, not for this video at least. This one's very hard and gives me 68 of these. Let's try this one, huh? We're gonna go ahead and head on in. But what you just saw, that global thing, that map, that's where I don't think I've ever done this. This is the first time I've done this. That's awesome. I'm actually really excited because it's nice when I see new zones. But that overall map, that is how you go into these combat zones. That's it. You just basically go up there and you select a mission and then you get ported into the mission. As I mentioned in the last video, this is not an open world game, not even close. It's all these segmented little missions that you get to through that atlas, and that's that. There's no like, I'm gonna walk from this zone to that zone. In fact, beyond clicking on that map to zone into these areas, there's only like 3 other locations in this game. Although, keep in mind that there are, I don't know how many there are, but I think I've encountered probably, I want to say like 8 to 9 different zones, and I've repeated a few of them a handful of times, but this is the first time, for example, I've seen this particular zone, so I assume that as you continue to progress, there will be more and more locations. But yeah, I've never seen this map before. This is new to me. All right, so we have got, oh boy, got a main boss guy right there. The secular shooter's really annoying. I'm gonna kill this thing first though. So first I'm gonna go ahead and debuff. We're gonna run in and we're actually gonna whirlwind. That might kill 2 of these guys just like that. The whirlwind again is so very strong, it's crazy. All right, the flyer dude is still up, so we're gonna kill him next. He's our next target. Ah! Okay, so we're gonna kill this thing and then we'll focus on the boss. All right, that's simple enough. Okay, so now it's time for this boss. These enemy types I have seen before though. None of these, I'll tell you in a second if he does any attacks that I haven't seen. Actually, no, this is relatively new. I don't know what this thing does. Is this like a buff or something? I don't know. I'm assuming that I have to pick it up though, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so we're gonna try to maximize our single target DPS with the rotation that I told you before. I've got a lot of rage right now, so I can really smack him. But this is typically how boss fights go. It's been my experience thus far with this game that there's really only, like, most of the bosses that I've fought have only had, I'd say, about two telegraph attacks that you have to pay attention to, and that's basically it. Like, it's nothing, it hasn't been anything crazy difficult so far, but that could also be, you know, I'm pretty experienced with MMOs, and I haven't played a ton of these action-style MMOs, but I've played enough to have a general idea of what to do. You know, I know all of my class's abilities, so that helps a lot, having knowledge of what you can do and what you should be doing. But beyond that, I mean, again, it really has not been, it's just really not been that challenging. I don't know what else to say about it. None of the bosses I've had a particularly difficult time against. Just simple as that. But I guess, though, if you're not quick on the draw and you're not paying attention to the different I just did my CC break. The game will call for it when you need to do it. So if there's ever a situation where they're like, hey, you should probably CC break right now, it'll put it up. It basically puts up certain context-sensitive abilities when they can be used. And for this class, for the Berserker, that includes the execute as well as that CC break. Execute will always pop up on E, and that CC break has shown for me a few times on the Q, which I just used a moment ago. All right, so this is going to be a blue item. I'm excited. Oh, it's a Ring of Luck. Okay, so let's go ahead and check our inventory. And let's see, 48, 48. This is basically the level of these rings. I'm just seeing which one I want to replace. At least now while I'm leveling up, I always just go with the highest number because this will increase my prestige. This is what I was talking about earlier, how I needed to get my prestige up to 1200. This is how I'm going to do it. All right, so this is a 64 ring, a bit much higher than this 42. It's also a blue rarity ring, and what you get from that extra rarity are increased bonuses. So notice how this ring, it's got its stats, and then it's a green ring, so it's got also an additional bonus damage. This white ring just has stats. The blue ring will have 2 extra things. So this one here also gives me discharge recovery and health bonus, which is 2 benefits as opposed to just the 1, in addition to having higher stats. Those higher stats come from it being a higher level. Okay, so we're going to put that on. That increases us to 1170, so we're getting there. And a bunch of different stats right here, just all stuff. It's all pretty straightforward. You can just read the words, and you'll basically know what they do. Nothing too complex here. And actually, I think I can upgrade. Oh, no, not yet. Actually, I should be able to get some more of those. So we're going to go into my bag. I'm going to disenchant the ring that we just got rid of. And that gives us 12, and that is going to give us enough right now to level this up, and we're going to be able to get rank 3 here. So we're going to go ahead and do this. The upgrade cost is 12 of these enhancement stones, which you get from breaking apart gear like you just saw me do, as well as some credit cost, and these are my credits down here. So we're going to hit upgrade, and then I can go ahead and upgrade rank from 2 to 3. Bada boom, bada bing. And now to upgrade further, I'm going to need more enhancement stones as well as 5,300 credits. And I only have 10,000 right now. We're going to wait though. So that was just a nice upgrade. Oh, well, looks like we can actually get this next ability. So this is going to be purchasing the talent Crippling Blow. Always deals 44% more damage. Beautiful. So we're going to go ahead and purchase that. And then I also have enough to purchase this additional minimum base damage. And I don't have enough of these red sparks, so that's not going to work. But let's go into I here. And now we've got this one. So I can make it so that my Crippling Blow deals 44% more damage. What would I get rid of, though? Because I don't have enough slots yet for all of these, so I have to get rid of one of these 3. So this is now, I'm making a interesting decision. I could longer duration Firestorm, critical chance increase. I actually don't care too much for that one because I don't get a ton of my damage from Destructive Wave. So let's go ahead and reset this and then go this one, and this one. So now we're going to get those 3. We will hit save. Fantastic. All right, now what about this bag thing? So whatever, let's just get rid of that. All right. And now I actually also have enough to purchase this. This is huge. I've got enough to purchase this. I've got enough to purchase this. So we're getting a ton of upgrades right now for our character. I need 125 for this one, so we're going to have to exit out. And I got those, if you're wondering where those red sparks came from, that came from that vial item in my inventory. As you level up, you get these, and they'll reward you sparks basically, and you use those sparks to purchase those upgrades like we talked about earlier. All right. So now my E ability is going to deal 44% more damage, which is pretty huge because E is already, that's the single target damage dealer that I use. Like that's the thing. So that's really exciting that I'm getting more damage from it. We're going to go in like this. Oh my gosh, that's so hilarious. That is so hilarious. That is so much damage. All right, and we only have, I think we're pretty much, yeah, we're almost done this area. Oh no, actually, wow, there's still quite a bit more to go. What is this? Do I have to drop down? Can I jump across? I can jump across, okay, perfect. I'll jump across this one, perfecto. Go in, regular Whirlwind. Might be enough. No, it isn't enough to kill these guys. Not even close, actually. Holy crap. Alright, so what I'm going to do is we're going to do a couple of our AoE attacks, which is 1, 2, and then the spin. And you know what? Let's just burn down them single target. Never mind. I want to see my increased damage on the E, though. So let's my 3 ability, I mean. Oh gosh, I just burnt it. Alright. Let's just do a firestorm. This is ridiculous. I just want these guys to die. I suppose this would have been a good opportunity to use my 4 as well, huh? Yeah. Okay, so we have, again, we have the increased damage for our 3. So I'd like to check this out. 44% more damage. That, yep. Yep, I can see it. I can see it. That's crazy. That thing hits pretty darn hard. That thing hits pretty darn hard. Alright, in this one, I am going to use my 4. And just blow these guys up. Yeah, look at that. Sexy. And I'll just finish them off with Whirlwind there. Excellente, excellente. Well, I mean, I guess that more or less does it for this video. I just wanted to show you guys some, you know, raw gameplay, some unedited stuff. That's what I was interested in you seeing and getting a look at this game, how it looks and feels, just playing it, you know, straight through. And I think that hopefully you have that by now, because we've been sitting here for 30 minutes now playing this game. So you should have a good idea of what it's all about. And, you know, I talked about this yesterday in my video. While I'm not blown away by the game, I am still having a decent amount of fun with it. And especially given that it's a free-to-play title, I'd say it's worth checking out. It is in closed beta right now. There will eventually be an open beta, so you might want to wait for that. If you want to play in closed beta, you're going to have to pay some money. Look at these orbs. If you're going to have to pay some money, so, you know, just... that's up to you, but I'm going to tell you, you might as well wait till there's more of a game. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with these orbs. So sometimes you'll see a random... Okay, they just eventually disappear. Good. Sometimes you'll see a mechanic, and when it's the first time you see it, you're like, I don't know what to do. And that was what just happened there. But yeah, we're going to kill this boss, and it'll be fine and dandy. Thanks guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, taking another look at Skyforge with some unedited Berserker gameplay. Hope I did a good job of describing a lot of the different features and things that you can do in this game. Once more, free-to-play, action, MMORPG, in closed beta right now. If you feel like it, you can buy in with the Founders Pack. I would suggest just waiting. If you want to save the money, it might not be a bad idea. That's just my opinion, though. Have a good afternoon, guys. Thanks again. I'll see you later. Keep watching and keep owning. All right, that's enough of you. That is enough of you.